Hey y'all, what's up? It's me, Jocasta Lester. How are you? In this video, I want to talk to you. I want to do it in parts, perhaps. I don't know if it'll happen that way, but check this out. God has been really good to us. Even when you are in a place where you're trying to figure out what it is that you're supposed to be doing, or if you've wandered away some, God has made a provision so that you can get back to Him, even in the world. So what I'm going to talk to you about is Romans 13 and how people are exalted in places to do a job as God placed them. And there are people that are given the charge to talk to the world. There are people that are given the charge to talk to just the city. There are people that are given different places where they're allowed to get to that podium and to speak, even if it's but for 15 minutes. That 15 minutes of fame was their shot. And that shot was there for those people to reach whoever it was that needed to be reached, to say those things that needed to be said. So with that said, I want to talk to you about the characters of The Wizard of Oz and what I've decided to do when it comes to watching a movie. I don't personally watch TV anymore, but for you guys, The Wizard of Oz is a movie that most of us have seen. It spans several generations, and I hear people refer to people in those terms, flying monkeys and such. So I'm going to break down the characters very briefly. This particular breakdown will be the ones as it pertains to the witches. I'm going to talk about the witches in this one. So Glinda, the good witch, for me, that person represents the false, phony Christian aspect. If you're a Christian, it's the false persona that you put on to say that you're a good person before the world. Glinda, the good witch, is that to me. She has a kind of a little, the way that the rapport is established between the world and that character as it pertains to Dorothy is she doesn't really care for Dorothy getting her ruby slippers. If you ever looked at the way that she looks at Dorothy sometimes, she doesn't treat Dorothy too hot. But Dorothy is kind of like, she doesn't really understand what's going on. She's the more of the naive type. But check this out. So Glinda the Good Witch, for me, represents, again, phony Christianity and Christian falsehoods. Represented as something nice and something, the idealization of what are faulty personality attributes, so that they take a person that's fake and phony and put them before us and say that that's what it is to be a Christian. And I don't believe that. So now, the Wicked Witch of the East. The Wicked Witch of the East has a house fall on her. She's gone. And where is the Witch of the South? We just don't know. So the Wicked Witch of the East, the Witch of the East, gets killed. Now Dorothy's house comes in and just falls on her. And she dies. So Glinda represents the backstory of, again, the phony Christian persona that's presenting herself before you. She had a sibling that died. Okay? That's the point. The type of the witchhood of her family, her heritage, her lineage, her people, not lineage, but her heritage, her family, her kinship, died. So one of her sisters died, and died in a tragic accident, okay? So there's the Wicked Witch of the East that has a house fall on her. Now, the Wicked Witch of the West, okay? That one, she's green in the face. She's still active. She's still picking on them. She's running amok. And ultimately, Dorothy and Toto take her out. So the way that I view the Wicked Witch of the East, the West, is this. Glinda the Good Witch is the phony person, and her true persona is really the Wicked Witch of the West the entire time. The entire time that Dorothy and them were in Oz, they were getting picked on by the witch. But the witch basically encountered them, first off, went out to meet them, greeted them when they got there. All of the people basically of Oz are suspect. None of them are to be trusted. They're all just a facade for something that was really going on there, which was the tragic downfall of their lives. They were basically getting ready to go to hell. Or they all, if I were to say something about who these people represent to me, all of Oz was just like a fake thing. It was a delusion of sorts. And they were the characters playing it out in the delusion. So that when Glinda comes to greet you, that's like the false phony person coming to say, "Hi, how are you?" That's the Glinda, the good witch. It's a good one, but it's a witch. Okay? The real thing that's really coming to greet you is the Wicked Witch of the West. But everything that the Glinda the Good Witch really feels about you is enacted. That Wicked Witch of the West is acting upon you. It's the devil of sorts, but really it's her true intentions that she masks by being a good witch. So that's how I feel about it. So, the witches, in a nutshell. Glinda relies on the Wicked Witch of the West to carry out all of her evil machinations. And basically, that one is appointed the ruler over the other demonic things. So, if I were to say anything about it, the human aspect of a witch is the phony Christian, the falsehood that comes to you as Glinda. The demonic spiritual aspect of a phony person is the Wicked Witch of the West that acts in the shadows openly. So, have a blessed and marvelous day and repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. I have more to say about it, but I have a lot of things going on right now. So, thank you guys for watching. Take care.